Welcome to my bold and beautiful today's show channel. I hope today fantastic for everyone. Please hit the subscribes button and give this video thumbs up. Ridge rejects Brooke, so Katie confronts Daphne about Steffy's dirty work. Katie Logan will confront Daphne Rose about Steffy Forrester's wrongdoing, according to the bold and the beautiful, while Ridge Forrester rejects Brooke Logan. For starters, Hope Logan will decide to support Brooke's reunion mission even if she doesn't really believe Ridge is the best man for her. Ridge and Hope have definitely had some issues with each other lately, but Hope will put her own feelings aside. Hope will insist that Brooke also wants to be with Ridge because she wants to be with Ridge. Brooke will be glad to have Hope's support and will maintain that Ridge is her destiny, but Ridge will put up a fight when Eric Forrester pushes him toward his ex. With that show-stopping situation, Eric already tried to play matchmaker, but he'll also tell Ridge straight up to go back to Brooke during the week of April 28th to May 2nd. Although Eric will still feel like Brooke and Ridge belong together, Ridge will argue that he's committed to somebody else, namely Taylor Hayes. Brooke will eventually have a private conversation with Ridge, but it doesn't look like she will get the answer she wants. Since we are aware that Brooke will be lost and alone when Nick Marone, Jack Wagner, arrives to comfort her in the future, a hard rejection ought to be coming her way instead. In the interim, let's discuss Katie's participation in B&B's weekly promotion. Katie will confront Daphne and inquire whether she is only in Los Angeles to perform Steffy's nefarious tasks. Despite the genuine feelings Daphne has developed for Carter Walton, it sounds like Katie might threaten to reveal Steffy and Daphne's covert partnership. Speaking of Carter, he'll make another desperate plea to Hope. Carter will beg Hope to declare that she loves him as much as he does. Will Hope make that admission or make it clear that this reunion isn't happening instead? If Hope will just give in and let them get their relationship back on track, Carter will have more positive predictions for their happy future. Once Katie exposes Daphne's plot with Steffy, that could make Carter even more convinced that he has to fight for Hope. According to the bold and the beautiful, Carter will do anything to get Hope to see things his way. Brooke and Taylor vanish, fashion show excitement. The beautiful and the bold are here. In tomorrow's episode, fans can expect Ridge Forrester and Eric Forrester to continue being excited about the fashion show. However, when people realize that Brooke Logan and Taylor Hayes have both vanished, there will be panic. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the next episode of the CBS soap opera. The mysteries of Eric Forrester at the Forrester Creations fashion show. There is supposed to be a big surprise. Ridge isn't aware of it yet, but Eric has planned something special with Brooke. Eric and Brooke both believe that Ridge's true destiny is the blonde while he is with Taylor. However, getting Ridge to see that is a different story. Brooke Logan vanishes. Brooke was supposed to appear on stage when the call for the Showstopper rang out. Because Taylor and Brooke are confined together in a room, that has not occurred. Brooke is not only sporting the Showstopper, but this is probably also a big part of Eric's big surprise. So, Taylor's little stunt, whether accidental or not, could cause a lot of embarrassment for the company. The era of Taylor Hayes the bold and the beautiful for tomorrow reveal that Taylor and Brooke will still be locked in that room together. They will end up being rescued, but it's not clear if it will happen before the fashion show ends. In any case, Taylor will have some serious explaining to do. It could bar Taylor from ever coming to an event like that again. Of course, Ridge will have to referee as both women will point the finger at each other. You know, it's really hard to believe Taylor works in mental health with how she behaves. What to expect otherwise? It's possible that fans will also find out what happens to Carter Walton. Even though Carter really likes Daphne Rose, he can't stop thinking about Hope Logan. There is also the situation with Liam Spencer. Steffy just learned that the father of her daughter is dying from an inoperable brain tumor. Additionally, Liam is pleading with her to conceal this. How will Steffy keep Liam's secret while she deals with the fashion show aftermath? That's a huge load for anyone to carry, so stay tuned to see how she handles it. Brooke and Taylor in lockdown. Brooke and Taylor are in lockdown mode on the Friday, April 25th episode of The Bold and the Beautiful. They're stuck in the vault as the show goes on without them. The lockdown leads to an epic showdown between Ridge's lovers. You need to tune in for yourself to see what happens next. Highs and lows. The House of Forrester is in full swing. There were many highs and lows at the fashion show. Some of the show's highlights include launching the family's new fashion house, which features couture gowns. In the meantime, Daphne unveiled her brand new, potent perfume, which has the potential to enchant Carter. The show also had some negative aspects. Brooke and Taylor were stuck in the vault. Taylor accidentally locked them in. But we have a feeling she's glad she did. She's been nervous ever since she showed up at the event. They went into lockdown mode when her nerves took over. Read this. Find out how Brooke and Taylor's presence causes stress. The show must continue. Meanwhile, Brooke was beside herself. She insisted that she had to get out of the vault. Taylor wanted to know why Brooke was wearing a robe. She was concealing the showstopper, which had to be on the runway right away. This was a big moment for Brooke, who was desperate to get Ridge back. They got into a fight because she was wearing the one thing she knew would get him back. Brooke told Taylor that she would like them to be friends again. But the lockdown didn't help the two put their differences aside. They continued to argue until help finally arrived. Katie, Will and Electra realized they were locked in the vault. Charlie showed up with the keys and released them. Brooke was ready in time for the showstopper. She wore the wedding gown from their Portofino wedding. Ridge took one look at her and smiled. He saw flashes of past memories. The two stood on the runway and held hands as they took pictures. Did it succeed? Did Brooke finally convince Ridge that she's his destiny? Ridge reacts to Eric's plot, sticks with Taylor. Steffy Forrester will warn Taylor Hayes not to let Brooke Logan win, according to The Bold and the Beautiful. Let's talk about what's in store because Ridge Forrester will also react to Eric Forrester's plot. Brooke was able to escape the vault in time for her grand entrance, despite Taylor and her getting stuck there. When Ridge saw Brooke in her redesigned Portofino gown, he definitely gave her a dreamy appearance. Brooke and Ridge were on stage looking like a power couple by the end of the fashion show, so Eric will hope this means a reunion is on the horizon. Ridge may praise Eric for his showstopper surprise since Brooke has so many adoring fans, but that doesn't mean he'll let his heart be manipulated. Although Eric will make another speech about Brooke being the only woman for Ridge, he'll remind his dad that he made a commitment to Taylor. Next on Monday's B&B episode, Taylor will likely find herself sulking after witnessing Brooke's big moment. Steffy seems poised to comfort Taylor and offer a pep talk since she has faith in Ridge's love for her mom. Perhaps Steffy will urge Taylor to have a little faith in Ridge and trust that he'll honor the commitment he made. Steffy might rant about Brooke and Eric teaming up on that sneaky showstopper before insisting Taylor can't let her rival win. Steffy believes that Taylor ought to be with Ridge instead. Taylor may continue to be concerned about the threat Brooke poses, despite Steffy's encouragement to continue fighting for the future Taylor and her parents deserve. Ridge is the one who will have to make a decision, despite the fact that a number of important people will make predictions about the best course of action. All signs point to Ridge sticking with Taylor in the coming episodes, so Brooke will face another round of devastation. According to The Bold and the Beautiful, Ridge will update Brooke on some troubling news later in the week of April 28th to May 2nd. Ridge and Taylor's relationship is threatened by Eric. According to The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, Ridge Forrester's decision to break up with Brooke Logan does not sit well with Eric Forrester. Ridge, enraged at Brooke, returned to Taylor as he always does. Eric called him out on this and decided to step in and help Brooke try to get Ridge back. Eric Forrester's romance is doomed. While Eric adores his son, he is not afraid to correct him when he thinks he is wrong. Eric is aware that Ridge was upset when Brooke took over as CEO of Forrester Creations. Brooke, on the other hand, wanted to persuade Carter Walton to reconcile with the Forresters. Brooke only accepted the position to assist Carter. However, Ridge jumped to his senses right away and, as usual, ran straight into Taylor's arms. Ridge loves to hit Brooke where he knows it will hurt the most, and he always hits Taylor by running into her arms. Ridge did exactly what Brooke should have expected. Ridge hates that Eric calls him out on this. Ridge Forrester was deep in thought. Eric was watching Brooke in the Showstopper from years ago and Ridge could not help but watch it as well. Ridge stood there staring at the video as Eric worked on his plan. Eric tells Brooke to catch up with him later, because he has a plan. Eric smiles and goes about his business planning what to do next. Eric intends to include Brooke once more in the Showstopper. Ridge has invited Taylor Hayes to come to the fashion show. Taylor and Brooke disagree once more about Ridge. Fans obviously wonder why both of them haven't kicked Ridge to the curb by now and moved on with their lives. Ridge is like a kid just playing them both. The strategy of Forrester doesn't work. Eric tries his hardest, but he can't get through to Ridge right away. By the end of sweeps, it looks like Brooke will be looking for an old flame who is back in town. Will this man be enough for Brooke to walk away from Ridge once and for all? Is Brooke at last aware that Ridge might not be her destiny? Brooke would not constantly turn to Ridge if Ridge were truly Brooke's destiny. Instead, Ridge would listen to Brooke and try to understand what she is trying to tell him. The Bold and the Beautiful, Katie Logan's confrontation with Daphne Rose, paired with Ridge Forrester's rejection of Brooke Logan, sets the stage for a dramatic escalation of tensions and revelations that will ripple throughout the lives of the Forrester family and their associates. As the complex relationships between Brooke, Ridge, Taylor, and their respective allies continue to unfold, the latest episodes promise to shake the foundations of long-standing emotional ties and set the course for unforeseen alliances and betrayals. In a season that has already seen unexpected plot twists, Katie's confrontation with Daphne is poised to expose more than just the surface-level dynamics at play. Meanwhile, Ridge's firm rejection of Brooke, coupled with the involvement of Forrester's scheming to reunite them, will push both Brooke and Taylor to their emotional limits, culminating in a confrontation that promises to leave everyone questioning their loyalties and destinies. At the heart of this week's tension is Katie Logan's sharp suspicion that Daphne Rose is playing a role in Steffy Forrester's covert operations. Katie, ever the protector of her family's interests, suspects that Daphne's presence in Los Angeles is not as innocent as it may seem. The revelation that Daphne is entangled in Steffy's web of manipulation could have severe consequences not only for Steffy's carefully orchestrated plans but also for her relationship with Carter Walton. Although Daphne has developed genuine feelings for Carter, the stakes of her secretive alliance with Steffy suggest that she is willing to sacrifice her own heart for a larger, more dangerous cause. Katie's threat to expose Daphne's role in Steffy's machinations could not only sever Daphne's budding romance with Carter but also unravel Steffy's increasingly fragile schemes. If Katie were to reveal Daphne's involvement, it would add yet another layer of conflict to the already fraught love triangle between Hope Logan, Carter, and Daphne, forcing Carter to make a difficult decision about his own future. A turning point in Ridge Forrester's emotional journey occurs simultaneously when he rejects Brooke Logan in response to Forrester's persistent plea for reconciliation. Despite Brooke's unwavering belief that she and Ridge are destined to be together, Ridge's heart remains firmly with Taylor Hayes. The tension between Brooke and Taylor intensifies as they find themselves at the mercy of Ridge's indecision and Eric's constant interference. Eric, ever the romantic and family patriarch, continues to push for a reunion between Ridge and Brooke, hoping that the emotional pull of their past will bring them back together. However, Ridge remains resolute, standing by his commitment to Taylor despite his lingering attraction to Brooke. This dynamic places Eric in the uncomfortable position of attempting to manipulate Ridge's heart, something that he believes is for the greater good but which could have lasting repercussions for both families. During a crucial fashion show, where Eric has planned a surprise to rekindle the flames between Ridge and Brooke, the complexity of Ridge's emotions becomes clear. Unbeknownst to Ridge, Eric has planned for Brooke to wear the Showstopper gown from their memorable Portofino wedding, hoping that the sight of Brooke in the gown will reignite Ridge's affection for her. However, Ridge's reaction to Brooke's grand entrance is far from the romantic response Eric had hoped for. While Ridge's gaze softens as he sees Brooke in the gown, he remains steadfast in his commitment to Taylor, a woman he has spent more time with recently. Eric's plan may have backfired, leaving Ridge to wrestle with his emotions and question whether he made the right choice in choosing Taylor over Brooke. The dramatic showdown that will ultimately force Ridge to confront his true feelings is set in motion by the emotional tug-of-war that is taking place between the two women in Ridge's life. In the meantime, Brooke confronts Taylor a number of times during and after the fashion show because she is determined to win Ridge back. Locked in a vault together, Brooke and Taylor find themselves forced into close quarters, where their long-simmering animosity boils over. Taylor's accident, which locks them both in the vault, becomes a metaphor for the trapped feelings and unresolved issues that have plagued their relationship for years. As they argue, their mutual jealousy and frustration come to a head, with each woman desperately trying to hold on to what she believes is rightfully hers. Ridge's heart. Taylor, already nervous about Brooke's presence at the event, seethes with resentment as Brooke reminds her of the bond they once shared. Both women are forced to face the fact that their mutual desire for Ridge has resulted in a conflict cycle that neither of them can break out of, despite the tension. The fashion show goes on after they are finally freed, but their interactions have a long-lasting effect and widen the gap between them. When Brooke confronts Ridge after the show, hoping that the moment she shared on the runway will be enough to entice him back to her, her emotional vulnerability comes to the surface. Ridge's resolve remains unwavering, even though the sight of Brooke in the wedding dress brings back memories of their past. Ridge reaffirms his commitment to Taylor, leaving Brooke devastated rather than accepting the possibility of rekindling their romance. Brooke must now face the possibility that Ridge's feelings for her may have been nothing more than fleeting memories as a result of this rejection, which is not only a personal but also a public blow. Brooke is left to consider whether her belief in Ridge as her destiny has clouded her judgment or whether she simply needs to let go of the past and move on with someone else as she processes this rejection. The subplot involving Steffy and Liam Spencer adds yet another layer of complexity to the ongoing drama in the midst of this turmoil. As Steffy grapples with the devastating news of Liam's terminal brain tumor, she is forced to keep his secret while also navigating the emotional fallout from her family's crises. Steffy feels a lot of pressure to keep Liam's secret, especially as she deals with the fashion show's aftermath and Taylor and Brooke's growing hostility. Even though Steffy is confronted with the possibility that Liam's illness may limit their future together, her connection to him only grows stronger as a result of her role as Liam's confidant and emotional supporter. This looming tragedy threatens to overshadow Steffy's relationship with Finn, as well as her role in the ongoing power struggle between Brooke and Taylor. Steffy must decide how to support the people she loves while simultaneously balancing these competing demands. Ultimately, The Bold and the Beautiful continues to explore the intricate dynamics of love, loyalty, and betrayal within the Forrester family. As Katie Logan threatens to expose Daphne's role in Steffy's schemes, and as Ridge's rejection of Brooke leaves her reeling, the stage is set for even more dramatic confrontations and shifting allegiances. With Eric's well-meaning but ultimately misguided attempts to manipulate Ridge's heart, and with the ever-present specter of Liam's illness looming over Steffy's life, the coming weeks promise to be filled with emotional highs and lows. As the characters of The Bold and the Beautiful navigate the complex terrain of love and family, one thing is certain: nothing is ever as simple as it seems, and the consequences of every decision will echo through the lives of those who inhabit this glamorous and turbulent world. The Bold and the Beautiful could so masterfully weave. The week unfolds with Katie Logan stepping into a firestorm of emotional reckoning as she confronts Daphne Rose, a woman whose connection to Steffy Forrester might be more sinister than sentimental. Katie, long underestimated in the Logan family for her calm demeanor and steady presence, proves once again that when pushed, she doesn't just hold her ground, she exposes truth with laser precision. Daphne is this time her target, as her burgeoning romance with Carter Walton made her arrival in Los Angeles initially seem innocent and even welcome. But beneath that charm and softness lies a manipulative agenda, one rooted in loyalty to Steffy and a scheme designed to reshape the landscape of Forrester Creations and the lives tied to it. Katie demands answers with the fury of a woman who has witnessed too many of the people she cares about become victims of subtle manipulation. She also asks Daphne directly if she is just a pawn in Steffy's game of personal and corporate conquest. Surprised, Daphne does not explicitly deny her alliance, but her hesitation says a lot. It becomes clear she didn't expect her plan or her heart to be unraveled so swiftly. Her feelings for Carter make the story more complicated, making her not just a conspirator but also a woman who is torn between her loyalty to Steffy and the real possibility that she is falling for the man she was sent to control. Katie, seeing this inner conflict, doesn't show mercy. She issues a veiled threat to blow the whole scheme wide open, not just to Carter, but to the entire Forrester family, a move that would not only devastate Daphne's burgeoning relationship but also cast a dark shadow over Steffy's leadership and ethics. Meanwhile, Carter, blissfully unaware of the duplicity threatening to engulf him, pours his heart out to Hope Logan in a moment of raw vulnerability. He begs her to look into what they could do together and understand that, despite their previous missteps, she can still have a future if she wants one. Hope, always the idealist yet recently hardened by her own heartbreaks and betrayals, doesn't give in easily. Her mind is elsewhere, namely on her mother, Brooke Logan, who is facing rejection from the man she's always believed to be her destiny, Forrester. Hope tries to support Brooke, setting aside her own grievances with Ridge for the sake of her mother's happiness. Despite her doubts about Ridge's capacity to truly change or commit, Hope echoes Brooke's romantic optimism, encouraging her to fight for what she believes is meant to be. Brooke, emboldened by her daughter's support, decides to confront Ridge one-on-one. She still sees the man she's loved through decades of passion and pain, and believes their connection, however frayed, is unbreakable. But Ridge, under pressure from Eric to reunite with Brooke and still feeling the residual guilt of past failings, resists. He tells Brooke that he's committed to Taylor Hayes, a woman whose own patience and perseverance have seemingly earned his loyalty, at least for now. The rejection is crushing. The quiet, suffocating kind, not dramatic or angry, leaves Brooke feeling lost and betrayed by fate as well as Ridge. In addition, Nick Marone is brought back into the picture at a time when Brooke is at her most vulnerable, as if fate were a cruel architect in this beautiful chaos. Not only is Nick's return a nod to the past, but it also serves as a lifeline for a woman who has devoted so much of herself to a love that no longer loves her back. Brooke is brought back to a prior version of herself that she may still be worthy of reviving by his presence. Elsewhere, the energy surges at Forrester Creations as the fashion show preparations